Hello, hello. This is Dr. J. I would like to welcome you to my chat, to my channel, Chat with Dr. J. Please come in, and if you don't mind, if you would type into the chat box so that I can see who we have in the building, so that I can say hello and at least acknowledge that you are here. Hopefully everybody is having a super, super blessed Sunday. Again, welcome to Chat with Dr. J. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Chat with Dr. J. And happy Sunday to you. I'll wait a few more minutes. Hey, Granny B. Hey, good afternoon. Z Adams, thank you all for tuning in. I'm not on my computer today, so hopefully this chat box will roll so that I will be able to at least see the messages that you have here. I won't prolong the time much today. Hopefully we can get through our chat in about 30 to 45 minutes. Again, welcome. Welcome to my chat. Hey, Constant. Welcome. Dr. J, happy blessed Sunday. Work and you're listening. Okay, thank you for tuning in, Constant. Hopefully you're having a super blessed day on this Sunday. Hopefully your day has gone well. Hopefully it is going well and will continue to go well. The information, the content that I want to share with you all today, the title of the article that I read was Some Parents Are Upset After a Henry County School for Special Needs Students Suddenly Shut Down. And for those of you that are not familiar, Henry County is a city. It's located up in Georgia in the Atlanta. I know y'all are familiar with the ATL. So this story actually took place there. So I'm going to bring you information concerning this story and see what your thoughts are about it. Come on in. If you're just joining, I will be sharing information about a school over in Henry County School District. A school for special needs students suddenly shut down. I'll wait a few more minutes. If you don't mind, please take a moment and tap on that thumbs up, that like button, if you don't mind. Please hit that like button if you don't mind as you come into the live. Hopefully everybody has had a super, super blessed Sunday. Hopefully it has gone well. It will continue to go well. Hopefully it is going well. Some parents are not happy after they just learned that their school district is shutting down the school where their kids with special needs are thriving. The school, their children had been removed due to special circumstances, them not being able to be successful in their assigned school. And there's a school that's set up in Henry County that's designed to meet the needs of the children with special needs that have an IEP that can't make it in the regular school setting. But unfortunately, that school is shutting down in Henry County, and it has several of the parents livid about that decision. The parents say that the decision is setting their kids up for failure, and that's a huge concern for them. There was a parent, a mother by the name of Cassandra McDonald. She told Channel 2's reporter, Tom Jones, that her statement, quote, was, "I don't want my son going back to a general education school because they can't handle that setting. She feels like she does not want her son returning back to his home school because it has been proven that he cannot handle that setting. And in another case, there was a grandmother who spoke out. Grandmother Quintinia Harris shared that her baby needs the school setting as well. So she's upset to the fact that Henry County is closing down that school for special needs students. Parents don't understand why the Henry County School District is closing down a school that has helped transport or transform their children. I think, in a nutshell, I guess the parents are rightfully thinking if it ain't broken, if it's not broken, why try to fix it? And evidently, them having their children into this school that Henry County has set up for special needs students is working. According to everything I read, the students are being successful, the parents are pleased, and they would pretty much just hit with the atomic bomb. Okay, the school will not be up and running next week. Your children will be returning to their home school, but we will provide assistance over there to them. But the parents, they don't want to hear that. They want that school to remain open in Henry County so that their students, their children, can continue to experience success. As I mentioned, the parents, they just don't understand why the Henry County school system is closing down a school that has helped transform their children. Another parent shared, parent Ashley Sawyer said, I am pleading with you to find a way to keep the school intact. Sadly, the parents received a letter from the school system saying their pre-K through 5 special needs children would have to return to their home schools because its contract with the Schools of Scholars program will end after this school year. So they did give them a little preparation, probably not a whole lot. They're informing them before school actually ends, I guess, so that they can go ahead and make preparation for next school terms. But the name of this school that they have set aside in Henry County for those special needs children, the name of that school, they call it the Schools of Scholars. Okay, McDonald, the parent that I had mentioned earlier, she noted that her son will have a difficult time adjusting back within his home school. According to McDonald, he's not mentally stable to deal with that. That transition will not be good for him. In other words, he's been removed from his home school. He's been in a setting. He's gotten used to that setting. He's used to the teachers. He's used to the makeup. So again, I think the parents are kind of like, I guess the parents are rightfully thinking, if it's not broken, why try to fix it? And McDonald, she says, no one could handle her 7-year-old when he was in his home school. He was getting suspended multiple times a week, according to the information that the parent shared. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, and after, as I stated, what she had mentioned, she has a 7-year old. She has a 7-year old, and he had a very extremely difficult time at his home school. So that's why he had to be removed and sent over to, or his placement um, um, had to go over to the schools of scholars. Okay. Where did I leave off? Okay, then he was moved to the the School of Scholars, which is a specialized program for kids with special needs. Okay, when they can't make it within the regular school settings, the teachers have a hard time with them, just distractions throughout the day. Oftentimes they get put on a modified day, whereas they might go to school uh, 3 days a week, or they might even go 5 days a week and just be put on a modified schedule, whereas they will arrive at the beginning of school and maybe stay until lunchtime, and then the parents have to come and pick them up, and or they are transported home. So evidently that what was going on with this 7-year old. Too many distractions. We need them at school, but like I said about attendance, the teachers are held responsible for providing the education, but we can't teach them. The teachers can't teach them. First of all, we got to get them there. And second of all, we have to be able to control them. We have to be able to control them. And evidently, this 7-year old was at a point where he could not be controlled. And it was probably due to, medical issues, could have been autism diagnosis. I don't know exactly what the IEP said, but in order for him to be removed from that regular school setting and placed at the School of Scholars, which I mentioned is a specialized program for kids with special needs, something was going on. But sounds like he's in his least restricted environment now. And the parents, are begging and seems like pleading to them to keep it open, to keep it open. We got the students experiencing success, and most of them are saying, if you close this school, remove them from this setting and send them back to where they came from, you are setting them up pretty much for failure, for a disaster. And of course, school is not in the business of failing children. School is in the business of making sure everyone receives the best education possible, that they are kept safe, and pretty much that they are where they are supposed to be. McDonough, which is a parent I mentioned earlier, she also explained because of that school of scholars for the specialized program for kids with special needs. She said because of them, her son is a totally different person. It's just heartfelt, because if they have somewhere that's working, and I just can feel, the emotions from those parents. If it's working, let's not disturb what these babies have going on, which appears to be something good. The school district says students will continue. Now, this is the plea. The parents are saying all of this. Okay, the school is working. My child is experiencing success. Please don't close it. Da 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 this and da 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 that. Now, as far as the school district, let me tell you what their plea was. They say, okay, the school district says, okay, students will continue to receive, even though we are sending them back to their school and closing down the School of Scholars. Parents, no need to worry, is what they said. The school district says that students will continue to receive support when they transition to their home school. When they go back to their home schools, don't worry, parents. I promise you that your children will continue to receive support. It says it's created a mental health and wellness facilitator for each of its 53 schools. So that's the explanation or the Band-Aid that the school district has put on the problem. Don't worry, parents. Your children will be okay. We're going to make this transition as smoothly as possible. And we promise you, is what the school district said, is that they have a mental health and wellness facilitator that will be in all 53 of those schools to give your children, our babies, the support that they need so that they will be able to continue to experience success. It is in the budget to add. This is still from the school district trying to appease the parents and let them know, okay, it's going to be okay. They also shared with the parents, it is in the budget to also add 9 more support positions, including psychologists and behavior intervention coaches. So with them sending these children back due to the School of Scholars closing, they have promised the parents actually 4 things, okay? A mental health and wellness facilitator for each of the schools, and 9 more support positions, including a psychologist and behavior intervention. But I don't think that was enough to appease the parents because they continue to go back and forth saying, no, okay, you're going to do all of this, but we don't want that. Leave those positions where they are. Leave those people where they are. Just keep the School of Scholars open. Keep it open. Keep our children where they are. and everything, so that they will be able to continue to experience success. Let me take a minute and check out some of your comments before I get too far. Constant. Okay, Lady JJ, hey there. Welcome. Happy Sunday to you as well. Lady JJ, thank you for stopping by. Okay, look at Granny B. You say you don't believe them. You feel like it's a bunch of baloney, Granny B. Have you had some type of experience where do where something was working? And Granny B, I think that you mentioned in another chat, do you have a granddaughter or someone with a family member with an IEP? I think if my memory serves me correctly, you had mentioned something like that. Okay, Z Adams, you're saying I don't either. So y'all just thinking that they're just trying to smooth it over. Like I said earlier, put a bandage on it so we can make you all be quiet. Look, Henry County School District has said, look, we're going to close this school. We're going to do all of this. Your children are going to be okay. Now you go away. You go away. Stop going to the media. Stop complaining. Stop going to the newspaper. Stop calling the TV station, and stop going to social media. Now we done told you that we're gonna make that transition to the homeschool as seamless as possible. We're gonna send in. We created a mental health and wellness facilitator. We've also put in the budget now. Come on, parents. We're giving you all of these things. Now you need to stop complaining. We're giving you a mental health and wellness facilitator. We've also included in the budget for the 25-26 school term 9 more support positions, including, look, you're going to have a psychologist is coming and a behavior intervention coaches. Parents, you should not be complaining. Why are you still going to the news? Why are you going to Channel 2? Why are you going to that discussion page on Facebook? Why are you taking it to YouTube and Instagram? Parents, chill. That's what the Henry County school system is saying. But just like your thought, Granny B, just like your thought, Z Adams, some of the parents are, guess what? They are still skeptical. They are still skeptical. And one of the parents went ahead, she shared, quote, my assumption is that the mental health facilitator is not going to be in the classroom in the elementary school. So, sorry, said, no, that's not enough to appease me. You're telling us this, but will that mental health facilitator be with my child in that classroom with Dr. J or with Miss Loretta Brown all day? Is that what you're telling me? If not, no, I'm not going to be quiet. I'm not going to be quiet because I don't want my child removed from the School of Scholars, that specialized program for special needs kids. I'm not getting phone calls now every day. I'm not having to go to the schools. My child can go to school in the morning and stay throughout the duration of the day. They don't have to be put on a modified day. So no, if you are not going to have that psychologist and those behavior interventions with my child all day, no, I am not going to be quiet. Okay, let me be quiet and see. Constance said it could be too much stimulation. Absolutely. Absolutely. Point at hand, Constance. And that's why those parents, and I do like the fact that they are being advocates. We have to be a voice. Because keep in mind, this is a pre-K through 5 school. They don't know what they need. So it's left up to the parents. They depend on those parents to be a voice for them, to make sure that they are getting what they need. And I applaud these parents. And this is what I'm talking about. Parents, look, we need these parents throughout the state, throughout the nation. This is what we need. And if we had parents throughout the nation, can you imagine throughout the United States speaking up like this? Can you imagine the killings would not be as high as they are? Suicidal rates would not be as high as they are, with President Trump thinking about the dismantle of education. The reason that he's given is because the data, the performances are not well. But if you had parents disinvolved throughout the whole United States, can you imagine the competition that we would be able to give those students over in China, those students over in Japan, who kind of like, according to data, leads the way when education is concerned? Can you even imagine that with me, YouTube? Hey, Open Book, thank you. Thank you and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Hopefully, as I said earlier, hopefully you're having a super blessed Sunday. Hopefully it has been good. It is good, and it will continue to be good. Hopefully so, Open Book, and thanks again. Welcome. Granny B says, believe me, when those babies go to another environment, the parents will be on call to pick their children uh, up at any given time. Exactly. And the parents are mentioning that because keep in mind, remember one of the parents said, quote, that she says no one could handle my 7-year old when he was in his home school. She said he was getting multiple times a week. And granted, be like I said earlier, now they don't have to worry about their children being put on a modified day, a lot of days. At that school, with those IEPs, they are at a scholarly schools, a specialized that's equipped, and they have the faculty and staff there equipped to be able to serve and fulfill their needs, and they don't have to worry about all these phone calls, if that makes sense. So that is just in support to what you just said. But parents have to work. Parents have to work, and these children sometimes, when they have those IEPs, those things, individual educational plans, they're on them for a reason, something, they can be taught, but they just have to be taught in a different way. And at that school, they have trained people there that are able to understand them and able to pretty much meet their needs. Whereas you put them back in the regular school settings, all of the problems, the misbehavior, and then sometimes it's beyond their control. Something that they can't even control. Thank you. Same to you. Thank you, Open Book. Z. Adams says they need to leave the students at the school with certified staff who are trained to work with them. Seems like you all need to get a picket sign, Z. Adams and Granny B, and go out and help support these parents to express to them the need to Henry County School District to keep that school, the School of Scholars, which is a specialized program for those kids with special needs. Seems like you all are in support of those parents fighting to keep their children there since they are experiencing success. Okay? So the parents are pleading, again, the parents are pleading with the school system to reconsider its decision. And like I said, in a nutshell, I guess, this is Dr. J saying this, I guess parents are rightfully thinking, and I would probably be the exact same way, if it ain't broken, why try to fix it? In other words, leave us alone. We're not being called every other day to get off work, to come pick our child up from school because they have kicked, slapped the teacher, thrown a chair, or destroyed the classroom. So leave them where they are. Leave them where they are. I can actually feel like a normal parent. My child can actually be a normal child because they are in a school setting that is equipped to meet their needs. And also, what do you have, Granny B? No disrespect to teachers. However, some teachers aren't equipped to work with children with an IEP. And I agree. And I agree. And evidently, these parents, they agree with that too. So that's why they're fussing so hard or fighting so hard, Granny B, and pleading to leave the children where they are. And then, I got to say this in honor or in respect to those teachers. It's hard, with one person. Imagine yourself, one person being inside of a classroom. Sometimes those classes have at least those numbers, those rosters can get as high as 25, 30 students. Those are a lot of people, a lot of little bitty short legs to one teacher. I won't say they're not equipped to handle them, but there are a lot of little personalities going around, and I won't say they're not equipped. The question is, and I hate to put it like this, teachers, please forgive me if you listen to this or if you're in the audience. Maybe they just don't know how, for a better word, or want to take the time to be able to meet the needs of those little bit, all 25 or 30 personalities in that classroom. But don't get me wrong, it's a lot. That's a lot on one person. And someone else, Open Book, was it you? Somebody else said in the chat a different day. No, maybe it was Miss V. Do they have, or why don't they put a second person, an assistant in every class? to help supervise, to assist the teacher. I can tell you now, funding, and especially now with what President Trump has in mind, and this is just me speculating with the dismantling of the Department of Education, chances are that won't happen anytime soon. But that would be like in an ideal world, to do something like that. Good point, Granny B. No disrespect. Good point. Um, the parent also stated that taking the school away from the children, from them, from the parents and the family, taking these teachers away from them is not fair. The parents say letting them know the school is closing at this late hour is not helpful at all. But I must say, if they just informed them of it, we do have another month for them to kind of like make plans for next year, do what they need to do over summer because school is not out yet. There's about 2 or 3 more weeks left before the end of the school gets here. Lady JJ, okay, what do you have here? Okay, Lady JJ, I guess you're telling them to hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm reading your symbols there. But if so, yes, I echo that. Please hit that like, that thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. Okay, so the parents are still pleading and begging them, please don't. I mean, and you gave us this information. It was too late. When they would have wanted to know, I don't know. But they do have about 2 or 3 months out of fairness to the Henry County school system to kind of like, start to make plans. But I guess they're upset, the anxiety that's coming behind it. I'm able to go to work, not getting a phone call from the school. Or I'm able to do this, that, and the other. Please let us leave the freaking school open. So I guess they're just, grasping for straws, trying to plead their case. Okay, Lady JJ said like. Okay, thank you. Subscribe, notification, share, and love. I appreciate that. Thank you, Lady JJ. Thank you. Constant says, what happens when a child needs a one-on-one? If they have the same teachers the children are used to, might help. Familiar faces. So what are you saying? Do you mean now as far as students having one-on-one with special needs children, that is possible, Constant, but you have to write it up. When you sit down and have your IEP meeting, it has to be justified, it has to be approved and be written in that IEP. If you get it written in that IEP, it has to happen. Did I answer that? Let me see. What happens when a child needs a one-on-one? Okay. If it can be proven that, their disability warrants a one-on-one, that is possible. And money comes down, from the federal government to pay for that. They have the same teachers the children are used to. Might help. Okay. Yeah. And I guess with them closing at school, I guess in that article, they said that they're going to make sure that all 53 schools, have the support that they need for those students. So what I'm thinking is that the employees, the teachers, faculty, and staff that was housed at the School of Scholars, they would go out into those 53 schools, is what I'm assuming. I'm speculating. I don't really know. The details did not give that information. You say, yes, ma'am, absolutely. Okay. Thankful. Hey, thankful. Hey, hopefully you're having a great day. Hopefully you have had a super Sunday. Hopefully it will continue to go well. Just coming in to say hello. Thank you for stopping by. Will you please make sure you hit that? How did Constance say it? Make sure you hit like, subscribe, notification, share, and love. Find that love out there. And thank you for stopping by. I don't know how long you will be able to stay, but thank you for stopping by just to say hello. Okay, and where did I leave off? What haven't I shared? Okay, I know the parents, they don't want that school closing. And Jones asked, so we have them still out trying to find an answer. Why is this school? Because the only explanation that the parents have been given for the school closure is that we don't have the contract anymore. So when I initially saw that, when it came to me, I'm like, okay, has Trump started with the dismantle of education? Because you all follow, I have just one more, maybe one and a half more series to do on that, and I will be caught up with President Trump with the dismantle of education. And that's the first thing that I thought was, okay, this is part of the plan that Trump has in place. You know, he has already started closing schools. But no, that is not the case. The closure of this school, they didn't mention unless something is released later. It has nothing to do with the dismantle of the Department of Education. It just stated that the contract is over. Why they didn't renew the contract, I don't know. I don't know whether it's a funding thing. I don't know if the school is just going to go out of business completely. I don't know. But hopefully some more information will be shared, to kind of like help us to understand a little bit more. But anyway, Jones asked the school district why it is ending its contract. He even reached out to a couple of board members, but no one has explained why. Like I said earlier, I was just speculating. I don't know, but hopefully there will be more information to come about. Okay, Lady JJ. Okay, you're showing some love to Thankful. Okay, awesome. Okay. And also, sadly, the parents say that no one has told them either. So it's kind of like, we're closing the school. We don't have the contract anymore. I'm telling you, so you need to make plans. And we are going to make sure, let me go back and repeat that. We're going to make sure the school district did assure them. But a couple of you said that you don't believe it. They did. Couldn't tell them why. The reporter tried to get more information. The parents tried to get more information, but all the school district could say is students will continue to receive support when they transition to their home school. It says it's created a mental health and wellness facilitator. Okay, we're giving you that, parents, so you should be happy for all 53 schools within this district. And it is in the budget. This is what the Henry County School District also assured the parents that it's in the budget to add 9 more support positions, including a psychologist and a behavior intervention. So that's pretty much all the information that they gave those parents. And I think that this is just happened. I think that this just happened. Normally, when I get this, that's why I drop anything else I have planned so that I can go ahead and get it to you while it's hot off the press. So I kind of put this together last night. I'm like, I need to go ahead and share that. I don't know, what or how much you all, know about some of this, but when it's interesting to me like that or relating, to our babies, I try to get it to you. Okay, Granny B says, I suggest a parent with a school age with special needs to apply for a Medicaid waiver for their child so the child and family can get the support they need in school as well as home. Good point, Granny B. Thank you for sharing that. Good point. Okay, and Lady JJ says, please vote in your local elections. Very important for our kids' future education. That part, absolutely, Lady JJ, we got to get more involved. But I think after we get through this administration and what's going on, folks are going to see the importance of that, Lady JJ. And I support that. I second that. Again, please vote. And I'm echoing and agreeing to what Lady JJ just shared. Please vote. It's imperative that you get out and express your right to vote. Get out and vote. It makes a difference. It makes a difference, YouTube. Please vote in your local elections. Very important for our kids' future education. And of course, I mentioned to you all that the reporter asked the school district why it's in its contract. He even reached out to a couple of board members, but no one has explained why. And I said even, I put that emphasis on that. When you run and get elected, don't forget about your constituents, if that makes sense. When you get elected into these positions, remember who you work for. Remember who you work for. You work for these same people that Lady JJ is encouraging to go out and do what? Vote. So in other words, when you get there, don't just wear the title, get the stipend for being in the position. Serve your people to the best of your ability. That's the least we can do. And of course, I'm sure some of you all would agree with me. That's not happening now. That's not happening. So if you do what Lady JJ just encouraged us to do, don't forget your constituents. Don't forget your people. Remember who put you in there and remember why they put you in there. Do the job that you were elected to do, if that makes any sense to you all. So are there any other questions? And I'd like to ask, did anybody know, had anybody heard of this story that was going on in about the closing of the, what was the name of it? The School of Scholars, this specialized program for kids with special needs. Were you all familiar with this? I was not, and it was quite interesting with me, for me, because I have one more part, a part three, to share with you all about the topic that I had been doing as far as President Trump is concerned. Trump orders a plan to dismantle the education department, and all of this just feeds into it. This just help, support what's going on there. But I have, like I said, one more piece of just a smidget of information to share. And the last thing I have to share, and I kind of mentioned it in my live yesterday, President Trump is dismantling the education department. How that might harm special education students. So when I saw that, I'm like, of course, that's the first thing I thought about before I read it. I'm like, okay, that's the last thing I'm gonna present or talk about or share with you two concerning, him making the changes with the Department of Education. So has he started already cutting jobs? Because like I said yesterday, we don't know the process of what it's going to look like with him. He hasn't given his plan on the different step that they are going to take to dismantle it. So I thought, well, maybe has he already started, cutting funds and taking money away? But when I read it, it was nothing to do with what President Trump has in plan to do. It was just basically, and all I got, you do so much reading to try to find out. My thing is kind of being inquisitive. Why? There's always, why. But the only thing I could find from my research was that the School of Scholars is closing because the contract was not signed, or the contract, I guess, was not presented. They said nothing about funds. They just said it was a contract issue. I really wish that the board member, I really, I really would, hold 1 second. Okay, so sorry about that. So sorry, but I'm pretty much almost done. I'm almost done there, and I think, did I answer all? Did we go through all of the? Okay, Lady JJ said to please vote. Constant didn't hear about it. Great topic. Thank you. I felt that anyway. I couldn't wait to get up here and share it. I actually started to go to go last night and put it out there. Then you all could have watched the replay. But I thought it was some interesting information too. Um, so, Granny, before I end my live here, was it Z Adams, or was it Granny B? Did you mention you have a granddaughter, um, a special needs granddaughter? Did you mention? Maybe it was not. But okay, that is all the information. That's all the information that I have. Like I said, I thought it was kind of interesting, and if I find it, or when I find it, and it's kind of interesting to me. And I thought I was going to, like I said, was on to something about what President Trump, had in mind to do. So I'm like, let me dig and see. Is this part of President Trump plan to dismantle, the Department of Education? But like I said, it was not. So I'm still on the lookout for information about that. I do have, like I said, about uh, 2 more days, maybe, or maybe one. Probably can do it in one day. Worth of content left. We'll be caught up, and we'll have to sit back and wait to see, when he drops the next bombshell as to how he plans to go about, bringing about the changes in education. But whatever it is, like I said, I'm sure that they are around the table now trying to figure it out. because those of you that have worked in the school system, you know you're ending a year and you are making plans to start a year. So I said that to say whatever it is, that he's going to do, they're going to have to do it quick. It's going to have to be quickly because school will be closing. We'll be into summer break. Well, they will be into summer break by the end of May. And you just think you just have part of June out and part of July, and the teachers are back in school around mid-July. So, if there are going to be cuts, it needs to be known, it needs to be put out there. And I did read, and I'm going to bring this to you within the next day or so about the special education aspect of it. He plans on not giving that to the state. He wants to, when he dismantled the Department of Education, to fade away it on the federal level and turn it back over to the schools because he feels, the locals, because he feels like the local can get those performances up to where he feels like they should be. But the part that I read, is that the special education component part of it, he's going to turn that over to J.F. Kennedy and his department. So that's going to be kind of interesting too. So I said that to say, as I mentioned in the chat yesterday, so I'm sure some job cuts are going to go, but I'm sure somebody else out there is pondering over this other than me. Are you going to take away the superintendent, start at the top where it's really heavy at? Are you going to take away the superintendent assistant? Are you going to take away the special education director? Are you going to send the special education director over to assist John F. Kennedy, since that's where you sit in the special education program? There just a lot of, the water is still so muddy now. It's very muddy now. So I will be following this, and I'll be happy to to share it with you when I find out. There's so many uncertainties. Will some of the teachers lose their jobs? I even broke down and said with the schools. Will you still have a principal in the schools? And I'm just wondering. This is just me speculating. Will the principal be expected to do it by themselves? Will you fade away assistant principal? Are you going to take away the counselors? I heard that some systems have already started taking away academic coaches. You have your academic coaches. Some people call them literacy coaches, curriculum coaches. Said that they're fading those away now too. So they're just a lot of unknown. And I can imagine, trying to make plans for the 25-26 school term, not knowing. And it probably has some of the teachers, some of the employees on, walking on eggshells too, not knowing, will I be called into, the principal's office or called into the superintendent office to say, okay, your services won't be needed for next year. So it just, the water is still muddy, in my opinion. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Let me just check the chat box over here. Thanks for all the updates and information. You are welcome, Lady JJ. Thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate that. Okay, Granny B says, yes, I have a special needs granddaughter. Navigating the school was a big challenge, okay? She is now 28 years old. Awesome. But you said you had some challenges navigating through the school system. Okay, but did it eventually get better for you? Okay, it's going to be a big problem with Kennedy doing anything. Yeah, I have some information for you on that. If I don't come back tomorrow, if I do my part 3, what's tomorrow, Monday, I might have something for you around Tuesday. It's kind of hard trying to figure out what it's saying. I've had to keep digging, but I think I will be comfortable enough to present it and share it with you all. Yes, Granny B. Okay, it's getting ready to be a problem. So Granny B, Lady JJ is agreeing with you. It's interesting. It's interesting. So being able to do the research, and dig and dive into it, I've kind of enjoyed it. So that kind of like keeps me on my toes. So we've been up here, ladies and gents. I don't know if Rissa is out there. We've been up here for about 45 minutes. That's pretty much all I have as far as my content today. That kind of like I had to deviate from my plans because I had planned to bring that part 3 of the information that President Trump had. But when something like this, this trending information, when it hits, I like to, like I said, go ahead and try to study and get research it and get it ready to come and share it with you. It was quite interesting. Like I said, I didn't get what I thought I was going to get because when I initially saw it, I'm like, okay, Here it is. I started rubbing my hands. Here it is. Okay. So Trump has started. This is part of President Trump's plan, but it was not. It was not. So hopefully everybody found this information useful. That's all I have. And once again, I do appreciate you all stopping by to visit with me. I do appreciate that. And as I think Constance shared, please make sure, let me read it exactly like she had it, if I can find it. I'm on my phone today, and it's a little bit, this is just my second time going live on my phone. Constance, what did you say? You said hit that like button. See? Oh, like, subscribe, and I liked she did the symbols initially, and I was trying to figure out what they were. Notification bell, share, and love. And eventually, what I'm going to start doing too is to figure out how I can schedule the lives. So I don't quite know how to do that yet, but I do appreciate you all taking the time to to join to hear the content that I have for you. No, Lady JJ, I thank you. I thank you for your time and you're stopping by to see what I had to share today. So that's all I have, and please continue to have a super blessed Sunday. Thanks again for joining, and I'm going to say goodbye for now and enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a great day. Bye.